Good evening, everyone. This is Laura Schifrin. I'm calling the meeting to order of the Town Properties Committee on Monday, February 5th at 5 p.m. Roll call vote, please.
Vicky Tidman present.
Julie Byers present.
Don Hayes present.
Kevin Smith present.
And Laura Schifrin present. And we also have Chaz with us.
Yes,
From BOS. Nice to see you.
thank you.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda not foreseen? I do not have any. Number 5, review volunteer response applicant. Yeah. Has everybody seen that for Bill Martin?
Yeah.
And I believe that he could be coming on as a general member. So,
If I could comment, please.
yes, Kevin.
Bill Martin was one of the founding members, initial members of the Town Properties Committee. He served on this committee along with myself, Peter Collins, and a couple other members. Initially, when it was started, Tubby Bushy, initially many, many years ago. Bill being retired now, maybe he has some time to put back into it. I myself would like to support him if I could. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Any other comments? I would just add that I felt the same way when I saw his application come in. He certainly has lived in town for a long time and would be very familiar with the town and the properties that we would be talking about. So I'll entertain a motion to move this applicant forward to the Board of Selectmen's for appointment at their next meeting if possible. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we present Bill Martin for appointment to the Properties Committee to the Board of Selectmen at their next meeting.
Seconded.
Okay, it's been first and seconded. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote, please.
Vicky Tidman, yes.
Julie Byers, yes.
Don Hayes, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you all very much.
Madam
Excuse-
If it pleases the board, the selectmen are meeting on Tuesday, so I can put it on the next one, which is in 2 weeks.
Oh, they meet tomorrow, so we have to wait for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't put that in under additions and deletions not foreseen 48 hours before?
I can, is it an emergency? When's your next meeting?
No,
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think we can make it in 2 weeks because if we're gonna, probably March will be the next meeting.
Yeah,
That
so it'll be close to the end of February, but I'll put it on the next one.
Okay, then that'll be fine for the beginning for March for our meeting. That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much. Number 6, review funds received from the town from the October property auction.
Oh, you skipped over number 3.
I did. Oh, the minutes. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, I don't know. I'm slacking on my job, I guess.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, the minutes were sent to us,
once.
and Jody will put them up.
Oh, I didn't send those to you. Here you go. Thank you, John.
I thought you did.
Yeah, you sent
have.
the meeting minutes to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so this is October 10th, 2023. And if you guys want to just take a minute and I'll entertain a motion for that approval. Can you scroll up? Jody,
other way.
the other way, so that the rest can be read.
Do you need a second on that motion? Laura?
Didn't even make
No,
it
the
yet.
motion
Oh,
yet.
I didn't make it. I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself here, man.
I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of October 10th, 2023 as written.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote.
Vicky Tippett, yes?
Julie Byers, yes.
John Hayes, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you. Do we have minutes for November 13th meeting?
We didn't meet, this is the last meeting.
That was the last one, so. So we didn't follow our minutes, actually. Okay. We must not have meant that. All right, so now we can go to number 6. Review the funds received from the town from the October property auctions.
We need that blown up a little bit.
I have
Really?
extras if anybody wants.
Okay, total, okay, so I see the sale amounts, I see the, I want to know if they closed and if the
Yeah.
town, they've all closed?
Yep.
Congratulations,
Yay.
that's pretty good, That's
I believe those
really
now.
good. And then, yes, and then I had asked for the update on Warren Road because that was another property that we had recommended be also go to auction. So where is that?
So that was, Eric responded to the email with that, the funds, and then he said that I anticipate that we'll be looking for town meeting approval to sell 182 Warren.
Oh, is that without division? I know at one time they were talking about they may potentially divide it. And so.
Oh, yeah, they had said something about that.
That's
yeah.
what. that's what I
Yeah,
was
he
looking-
didn't indicate whether or not, oh, Chaz might have something to add to that.
Yeah, Chaz, why don't you, because I know that it's been addressed before in
Yes.
housing.
Yes, we
As well
have, we had, there was preliminary I shouldn't say we, there was preliminary conversations to split the property. Fish and Wildlife was interested in that top
That
parcel of
section.
it. So we now, the Board of Selectmen are trying to contact Fish and Wildlife to have that, to get some sort of an agreement so that we then can split the property. But the goal is to, yes, split the property, Fish and Game get one portion of it, and then,
Sell the rest.
and sell the rest.
One
Okay.
question.
So my question on that is, split the property, is Fish and Wildlife going to pay for the legal and the survey to do the splitting?
That's why we need to talk with them.
Okay,
That's what we need to negotiate.
And then another, I guess a question I would have to add to that would be, depending on what they're looking, how many acres is what the value that they're willing to pay for that piece. I know in a lot of cases they're not willing to pay much per acre. And, when you figure the, cost of engineering to the perimeter survey has to be done to take that off. So a complete perimeter survey will have to be done of that property to take a section of it off. We wanna be careful to analyze the costs on that to make sure that there's, the one's not gonna outweigh, the value to the town.
Correct, there's a couple of other options that are available, and that is to discuss it with the Affordable Housing Trust to see what they would like to do with that too.
If there's something there.
If there's something there, they may wanna be able to do they could put on a Habitat for Humanity house or whatever, and that could be a upcoming
Yes.
project. We have been approached for those,
Go against the stock.
yeah, for this year, so. And we did preserve, I just throw this in there, we did preserve, there is the Copper Smith is under agreement right now for affordable, so that was
Finally.
mandatory, yes.
oh, that's awesome. That's a successful one, which hasn't happened for a number of years.
Well, we have reached out and marketed it a little more heavily than what we have in the past.
And how did we do that? In other words, it was listed in MLS. So what was different about our marketing or the marketing that was
One of
done.
the members of the Housing Authority, who also works for one of the nonprofits, had contacts on how to put it on affordable listings that we didn't realize that were available.
Right, okay, very good.
A lot of their kids, I don't know.
That could happen there. There'll be a lot of cost factors because of cleanup or maybe even tear down of that house, so it gets a little, it's probably not as simple as we think, or could be. It may be
Right.
cost prohibitive to get that done. But
My-
maybe,
My suggestion would be to, if we look at Fish and Wildlife to see what they're willing to do, and then have a full discussion on how we're gonna to deal with the other part of it, I think is the proper. Cause it does need to be cleaned up, and there's a lot of, extemporaneous factors to it.
yeah, okay, good. Good, at least hopefully you hear from them soon and that can be moved along. Okay, any other comments on that from the board?
Thank you.
Number 7, update, excuse me, 8. Discuss and review the budget for 25. Don, do you want to take that?
All that we have at this point is, the line is the same from last year moving forward, which was 5,000. So I just didn't know if we had any indications of properties that may, be coming on that we might have to do work. Like the posting of the no trespassing and things like that, that we had discussed in the.
Most likely that 182 that we just chatted about. For certain.
But with that, it's kind of like getting an idea of the cost to do signage, and I'm sure it's all depends on the property and how much.
Wasn't there a blank amount that you had put in there? Was it 5,000 or something?
It was 5,000. It's kind of like if we don't have, if, say we had 3 or more properties coming in, if we were having to do the survey for 182 in the next fiscal year, when we get to June, the June 30th, this money will go away. And we have to, if it's not gonna happen before that, this year, then we have to make sure that, we talk to the budget and see if there are anything. It's kind of like, so because we didn't have a December meeting, we didn't have this conversation, so I'm hoping that it's, we can still, if there's something that fits in, whether it's environmental studies, whether it's, the survey or any engineering study.
If that's what we prioritize on that particular lot, I would suggest that if you want to start the process of at least, initial survey, some of the stuff that you know you're gonna have to do, because like he says, come July 1st, what are you gonna get, another $5,000 in the budget for the following next fiscal year? We're gonna have to give that money up.
Yeah.
And you know that you can't, I know that from being involved in this kind of stuff, when I put my working hat on, that $5,000 budget is not gonna take care of the survey on that. It might do the perimeter survey, but it's not gonna take care of any costs associated with creating a separate lot or an A&R lot, is what you're gonna be separating to sell the back land to the state. You're creating a parcel, that's not gonna fall on, that's not gonna be covered under it. And then if you're gonna try to create, before you can sell the lot or deem it a Habitat for Humanity lot, there's gotta be at least the initial testing, initial engineering done to be able to prove that there was a building lot there. And
Yeah.
$5,000 not gonna go very far on that either. So you're gonna be into 2 fiscal years just to do that. Unless you go before the selectmen and you can ask for some relief somehow, I don't know.
Well, to that, if I may, Kevin,
Finance should say,
John.
that's, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Again, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was just wondering. To Chaz, and to that point, the money that just came in from the recommendations of town properties, shouldn't some of that money go back to town properties to enable them to do this kind of thing? Chaz?
Well-
Yeah, the email, sorry, Chess.
go ahead.
The email that Eric sent me said that attached is the auction report from our auctioneers detailing the information on the auction. Those funds are required by law to go into the general fund and will be free cash next December.
Okay. Okay, so that's the law, but then there's thinking that goes beyond that, right? Via finance and what you have in free cash? Or reserves, or wherever you're going to put it? John, do you want to speak to that?
Our budget money.
5,000 is the budget money.
Hold on.
Out of- Yeah, so the 5,000 that we requested
Is in our town
is-
properties budget,
yeah, it's a line on the Board of Selectmen area that
approved by them
approved by them
for our use.
for our use,
Okay.
because we are only a recommendation only board.
Correct,
The action has to come from the Board of Selectmen, so that's why we're not a,
correct. I guess that
Budget.
being said, if we don't use that money, obviously by fiscal year ending June
June
30th.
30th.
June 30th?
Yeah.
Then the $5,000, that's basically gets turned back in and then gets
It's-
brought back to us.
Very-
Brought back to us in the next fiscal year.
Right, there would be another reallocation based
Yes, correct.
based on the total fund, so
Correct.
we base
Now-
the next budget there. So the 5,000 would be added to, say, this revenue that we got for, the buildings that were sold. And.
Yeah, but that
it's
money's gone,
calculated
that money's gone into the town's general fund.
Well, it's going into the town's general fund and gets certified as free cash, much like the $5,000 would do if we don't reallocate it somewhere or
So-
use it. That at free cash certification, that 5,000 gets added to anything else on the budget that hasn't been certified or used. And once that, we have a total of free cash that
Yeah,
is applied and.
I'm with you on that, Don.
Yep.
I guess I guess the simple question is if, we have a general budget, annual budget of $5,000
Right.
annually. We know what this is gonna take, over $5,000 to make this 182 thing come to fruition.
Right.
So I guess why wouldn't we wanna move forwards with at least scheduling some of this work to have it done before the fiscal year June 30th is over, at least the preliminary, maybe the construction, survey, different, the testing, land lot testing, see if we can get a lot out of it. In fact, there is a lot, using our budget money for a fiscal 23 budget, that's on now, right?
24.
24, I'm sorry, I'm over the year behind.
So you have to-
I'm old, I'm sorry. I'm old school. So anyway, yes, get rid of this, and that way, come July 1st, we probably be refunded for the next fiscal year for the 5,000. It would take probably pretty close to, it would probably take all of 10 grand to get that thing to the point where we're gonna be able to do something with it. So, I don't know, do with it what, however you want, but I think.
No, that's the piece. And again, part of it is the negotiation, see if
Yeah.
it does need to be split into the two to
Yeah,
start
I
with.
mean,
It's kind of like, so that negotiation has to happen first. And if it happens at a time and Fish and Games is
The other-
not gonna cover engineering and survey,
they're not so,
then we.
they're not so keen on paying more than a couple $1,000 an acre. I've
Mm,
dealt with them over the past, that,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
can get a couple $1,000, get them to pay a couple $1,000 an acre, that's pretty good.
mm.
I
Do
don't
they
know, the
do
acre-
surveying though?
Well, they might,
Well,
they,
we have to negotiate
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
That's all part of the
Right.
yeah, they might be able to do it, but.
Right.
There's been past history that they're interested in that land, so
Mhm.
I'm not really sure what they would. They need to figure out if they are interested in it or not, if they wanna take it on. If they do, then we have to negotiate how that's gonna happen, and Kevin's right, then we have to go to, an A&R, we have to split the
Right.
lot, so that we can then sell that piece off to them. And then the town now has the remaining lot. Then the remaining lot, you have remediation that needs to happen on that as well. So however you wanna negotiate the remediation, but
As
I.
well as the testing and permitting to see if it's viable to be developed.
Correct.
We don't know that yet.
Correct. So there are other avenues that can be taken in regards to that. There's the LTA grants, there's other smaller little grants that we could apply for. But the decision for town properties, I would think, is to decide you wanna keep it and do that route? Do you wanna let the Affordable Housing Trust take it over? That's that's my thought on it. Is do you wanna keep it as town property and look to see if it's saleable? We need to find out how much money that needs to go into it in order to do it, or do you wanna give it to the Affordable Housing Trust so that they can,
And then they would take over those parts about.
those pieces that
The
Kevin's talking
pieces,
about?
the missing pieces that would need to be done in the
Do they have
expenses
a bigger budget
associated,
than we do?
expenses associated with them. I don't believe they do, but it's hard to say, you know.
Well,
But the other thing is based on looking at what those previous properties brought, which I think most people are in shock.
Mhm.
You know, you kinda got it, the town's almost gotta waive that as an option. If it's in fact there.
Right.
You know,
I think that the 182 warrant has been sent to the Board of Selectmen by the town properties to sell. So
Yeah.
you guys have already recommended, these guys have already recommended selling it.
Right,
So now it's.
as it is,
Yeah.
but we
Right,
still
as
have to do the A&R.
No, right, but I think it's in your court now,
Correct.
so it's off of
It is.
technically. Cause I have it on my
Yeah.
list as you guys, it's under the Board of
yeah,
Selectmen
we
right
kinda
now.
threw it at you. You don't
Yeah.
throw it back.
And we want-
If you're gonna throw it back.
We don't wanna throw it all back.
No.
We're gonna do a little bit and then we're gonna throw it back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But
Okay. Why don't we put this on our next agenda? And hopefully we can do that March 11th at 5. And hopefully the Board of Selectmen will have some feedback for us on that. I do need to acknowledge there's somebody that has not has come on to our meeting. Susie, who's Susie? Do we know?
Hello, Susie.
Mhm.
Are you with us?
Dave, is it a familiar number to you?
It's just a name, no number, no ID.
Okay. All right, so having said that, we really can't do much more with that one today. We did the budget, so the next meeting is number 9. And is March 11th at 5 good for everyone?
Can we do 5:30? Cause I think the Board of Assessors is gonna be a little bit longer than normal.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Is everybody else good with that? Is
5:30 is okay?
is the hour gonna be enough? Do you think, Vicky?
Well, I mean, if we don't get to all of them, we have till May 1st so if we have to go
Okay.
with, we're okay.
Okay, so I'm good with 5:30. Is everybody else good with 5:30?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 5:29.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 5:29.
Second.
Okay,
Second.
roll call vote, please.
Vicky Tidman, yes?
Julie Byers, yes.
Don Hayes, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you all very much for your participation this evening.